Good evening and welcome back to another podcast here on Maritime Harness News and Podcasts. I'm your host, Scott Waddell. Thanks for joining me. Got a real special guest tonight. Before we do that, though, got to pay the bills and mention our sponsors, of course. Nick Way Farms, Woodmere Standardbreds, Windermere Farms, Kingsman Equine, Speed Breeding, Elm Grove Farm, Inverness Racetrack, Northside Downs, Horse Racing New Brunswick, PEMF Daddy, Old Mill Acres, and All Star Cresting. So there you go. And we got that over with. So without further ado, I'd like to wish our guest tonight a great night and welcome to the program to Gold Cup and Saucer winner, Corey MacPherson. How you doing, bud?
Great, you?
Not too bad, not too bad. We were talking off camera there, and you mentioned with the weather being the way it is, this year. What were you thinking that day over in Prince Edward Island when you went for the $50,000 purse and the Premier's Pace? It was an October day. Who would have ever thought, Corey, that you'd have a shot at beating the 150 mark over at Red Shores in October? So what was kind of going through your mind when you were scoring down and it was a nice afternoon, but it was still, a little chilly, but, kind of take us through your thought pattern of that day.
Well, there was a little bit of breeze that day. It was a little cool, but it was a sunny day. The track was like lightning fast. Earlier in the day, Fight Song set a track record of 154 and a piece.
Yeah.
And a 2-year-old filly, Windermere Sky, she won in 53 and 3, which is unbelievable. So I figured the track and the conditions obviously were right for track records that day.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that was my complete plan. Win the race was the first plan, but it was Mickey's last start here this summer, and he's pretty well clicked off everything else on his bucket list for here. So I figured if everything was going to plan and he felt good that I could give it a shot.
Yeah, because that day you had the rail, like you say, you probably felt as a driver that the track condition was in perfect condition. As you mentioned, those quick miles earlier in the day. So you probably just kind of sat there and said, I'm going to go for it. And when did you kind of know in the mile, Corey, that you were going, you won the Gold Cup and Saucer in 50 and 1. So you had to go a couple ticks faster. Did you feel like you were going a little quicker than you were the night of the Gold Cup?
I've had a lot of people ask me that. How did it feel to go in 49? And sitting behind a horse with that kind of gait and that kind of speed, you don't really feel how fast you're going because they do it so good. Yeah. But I left out, and I had the rail, so I didn't have to leave real hard. Yeah. I left out enough to get everybody in behind me. I set the bit in his mouth, and I just kind of let him dictate his first fractions.
Yeah.
Better Than Spring, who's known to go some big halves, he was stuck right on my helmet. Yeah. I didn't want to look back further than him, so I didn't know that there was actually a little bit of a gap back to the others. Yeah. But I figured I was going lots, and as I turned down the back stretch, I kind of thought to myself, I'm not shaking this fella. Yeah. So I shook the lines a little bit, and I flicked the wheel disc. Yeah. And then just in an instant, I couldn't hear Better Than Spring anymore. Yeah. So I gave him another roar, and I looked over my shoulder, and I had him by probably 3 or 4. Yeah. And that's when I knew I was pacing fast. When you step away from a field like that in 4 or 5 strides, you really know you're cooking then. And I've had a lot of people ask me all summer, do you think that's all he has? Do you think you went all you could go? And my answer all along was, I don't know if it was as fast as he could go, but he did enough to win.
Yeah.
So getting to the 3/4 pole, I said, he's done all the work himself up until this point. So I dumped the plugs and asked him again, and he responded. And halfway through the last turn, I said I'd see if there's another gear, and I laid the whip over his tail and roared at him, and he did have one more gear. So
Yeah.
it was a real thrill to think when you shift 2 gears down the backstretch that you'd have a third one getting into the last turn. So
Yeah.
I figured when I was getting across the line, I seen 122 and 4, and I thought to myself, he never slowed down any. So
Yeah.
hopefully he broke the 150.
Yeah.
And after the wire,
Could
I
you hear
heard
Dan?
I could hear Vance because I kind of
Could
tipped my
you?
ear up into the air, and I could hear
Yeah.
him say, "There it is, folks," and I got chills.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh, I did. I did too. I mean, I've been watching racing since I was a kid, right? And it's like Vance says, that miracle mile that they've been waiting for. I remember the first miracle mile was to beat 2 minutes, and to years later go 10 seconds faster and beat that by a couple ticks. I mean, it's just
yeah,
incredible.
it is. It really. I drive a lot of horses and I do well, so I don't know if it's really sunk in that like that I am the fastest that's ever gone around that track. To think of all the great horses and great drivers that have been there, and to think
Yeah.
I've gone around the fastest, it's kind of, I don't know. It's amazing, I guess, but I feel like I don't really. It hasn't sunk in yet as like it should have.
Yeah.
We've been so busy lately.
Well, I know. Well, you've had a tremendous year, Corey. I looked at it today there. You're up over 800,000 this year. So congratulations on that. Just a tremendous year. Of course, some of those numbers bolstered by Mickey, but, you earned every friggin' dollar of it. Trust me.
Yeah.
And,
I've driven a lot of nice horses.
yeah, and I mean you get 134 wins this season, and you're inching closer. You're a ways away, but you're at 1841, so your next milestone will be hitting 2000. So I mean that'll come quicker than you think. So is that kind of the next goal that you have in mind, is to maybe get to the 2K mark?
Oh yeah, I've always when kind of started driving, and before I started driving, I guess for around here, I always figured like the the better drivers get to that 2000 mark. Like that's a 2000 wins in the Maritimes is a pretty big deal. Like you
It
got to
is.
work your butt off, and you got to drive a lot of horses and a lot of good horses.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I always figured to get to 2000 wins would be quite a feat.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like you say, most of the Hall of Fame type drivers, most of them are, 2000 and above. So,
Yeah,
you got your Barrio and Campbell and some of the other guys over there that have, been driving for years and years and
yeah,
years. You've watched them, and I know that you've seen yourself someday in their shoes, getting up to that point. So I want to ask you something. Woodstock, you took Mickey up there, Chris McKay and the gang took Mickey all the way up to Woodstock, which is about
yeah,
a good 4.5 hours or whatever trucking, I think. And that's a new track record up there, 51 and 4. I was there the day that American history went in 52. And I said to myself, Corey, this record will never, ever be beaten. There's not a
yeah,
horse. And that was before the summer of Mickey. I guess
yeah,
that's what we can call it now, because I thought, when he went up there, that you guys were if everything went good and everything kind of worked out, that you'd have a shot with this horse. Like I really did. I thought you had a good shot to beat it. So what does it feel like to like you're the track record holder now of Charlottetown, Woodstock. You're the fastest driver ever in the province of New Brunswick, and you look at the amount of racing that's been done in this province, and it's just been a storybook season for a young fella from Prince Edward Island. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah, like I say, I've driven a lot of nice horses over my lifetime and this year, but to be lucky enough to get to drive a horse like Mickey Shan,
Yeah,
he did way more for me than I'll ever do for him. But like you say, that day in Woodstock, in order to be eligible to the Premier's Cup final, he needed
yeah,
that start in New
New
Brunswick to
Brunswick.
race the two provinces.
Yeah,
And New Brunswick does have Lasix, so
yeah,
they decided that they'd take him there instead of Nova Scotia. Um, and it's always when you go to Woodstock or St. John or Fredericton or even the Cape Breton tracks, like the turns are not ideal for every horse.
yeah,
So a horse of that high speed, you sometimes wonder, will they handle the turns and how it will go? And I'll tell you what, Mickey Shan, I
he's
told
just
somebody the other day, I said, I think he pays 51 around Ronnie Gasses. Like
yeah,
he can pace a turn as fast as he can pace a straightaway. And it doesn't seem to, the size of the track doesn't seem to really matter. And truthfully, 51 over Woodstock, it felt
yeah.
like 46. I felt
Oh
like I was
yeah,
flying. Oh yeah, I felt like I was flying that day. Uh, Gordy Ford said to somebody after the race, if he'd have stayed on the rail, he'd have went in 49 because in some of the turns, I was really out in the middle of the racetrack, just trying to
there you were.
just get around the turn. And
Yeah,
he he did that unbelievably simple. Like
yeah.
once I made front, Better Than Spring took me to the quarter in 26 and a piece, which is wild, I thought. But once
Oh
I
yeah,
cleared front and I set the bit in his mouth, he just set sail and motored the rest of the way. Like he did that really, really easy. It's hard to believe.
yeah. Now, what about the to win the governor's plate again? A race that you've been watching as a kid, and um, have you won the governor's plate before this year?
No, I actually didn't win the governor's plate with him. Jason Hughes won the
Oh,
governor's plate with him.
oh
Uh,
yes, that's right.
yeah.
Shit.
The, Gary Chappell won his first start with him
I know.
in an overnight, and
Yeah, I remember
then
that day.
Mark Campbell drove him in the trials for
He did.
the governor's plate,
Yeah,
and then Jason won the governor's plate with him.
yeah,
And the next week or a couple weeks later, I got lucky enough to Mark had roll him in there, and I'm pretty sure that Jason had B2B in there. So I
B2B.
kind of got lucky and got listed.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and then after
nice.
that was just pure luck, I guess, that I got to be the man in the seat. And his second start was the for me was the Gold Cup trials,
Yeah,
and uh, it wasn't really discussed. I drove him in an overnight, and he won, and he raced good, but
yeah.
I I wasn't really sure who would get the drive in the trials. It wasn't really discussed. Like I say,
Uh-huh.
I hoped.
Yeah,
Uh, and then after the draw uh, for the trials, Jordan McKay messaged me on Facebook, and he said, "Good draw." And I said, "Yeah, he drew good." I said, "Good class." I said, "Am I in the seat?" He said, "Oh yeah, no, you're good. You're good. You're in the seat." He said, "We discussed with the owners that we're going to use the island drivers no matter what." And I really thought that was really good to hear. Whether it was me or Jill's or Mark or
yeah,
Jason, it didn't matter. But for them to
yeah,
say we're going to use island drivers, I thought that was pretty big of them.
yeah. No,
So uh, like, and then I was nervous for the trial. All I could think was I wasn't really nervous, but it just seemed the Gold Cup trials and the Gold Cup and Saucer race itself, they don't really go how you think they should all the time. But all I thought was I got to be in the top 4 to make the final.
Right.
So I kind of I drove him to be in the top 4, and he was actually awesome that night. Like he was on the bed, he was ready to roll. And when I tipped him 3 deep down the backstretch, I said, "This thing's airborne," and he was really good in the trial. So that after that start, that was the second time I drove him. I had all the confidence in the world after that.
Yeah, because I seen you the night of the Gold Cup and asked if you were nervous, and you said no. I just said, "Yeah, right, sure."
Well,
But you were confident. That's great.
I was so confident in the horse that maybe not that I could win it, but I was so confident in the horse that if I put him in the right spot, he would do his best work, and hopefully it would pay off. My mother asked me in the middle of the week after the draw for the final was up.
Yeah.
And she said, "Corey, don't be nervous." She said, "I'll be nervous enough for the both of us." And I said, "I'm not nervous at all." And she's like, "Oh yeah, sure." I said, "No, I swear to God, I'm not nervous at all." I said, "I have all the faith in the world in the horse."
Yeah.
And she didn't believe me, but I told a lot of people, I said, I'm really not nervous at all.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. But no, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, you could tell that you were confident in the horse. You've driven enough that you knew what you had between the shafts, so to speak. So I think that probably weighed into you being nervous or not. But a young boy that grew up in Prince Edward Island and in front of the 25,000 fans or whatever, and having one of the favorites in the race. What were you thinking during the race when Mark kind of got away on them early with It's Major Major? And I kind of thought, he moved out by probably 3 lengths there at one point, and I said, "Geez, they may not catch this guy." And then you made your move, and then holy moly, just incredible.
I know like I say, in the trial, Mickey Shane can leave, but he can't like explode off the gate.
Right.
A couple of them other horses, they can really get off the car like in strides.
Yeah.
So after the trial, James McDonald said to me, he said, "That was kind of a ballsy move." He said, "Usually you want to be really forwardly placed in a race like that."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, it just wasn't going to work to be really forwardly placed. So hopefully the horse could overcome that." So in the Gold Cup, I kind of had the same mentality. I knew there'd be a lot of front end speed. I knew everybody'd be blasting off the gate. I just hoped I'd be close enough to the action to be able to get into it.
Yeah.
I said going out of the paddock, I said, the only horse I'm worried about where they're going to land is Poseidon Sealster. And I don't know, I'm not 100% really sure why I was thinking that, but I knew he had the 8 hole. And I don't know if I didn't want him caught on the outside of me, or I didn't want to have to come first up if he was behind me. Yeah. So as I'm getting to the quarter pole, I thought to myself, well, I was worried about where Poseidon Sealster was going to land. He's landing right in my lap. So I said, I guess I got to follow him. Yeah. So he's a good horse, and I knew he would put in a really good effort to get me at least down the backstretch.
Yeah.
And so I just had to kind of play my cards and move on Poseidon Sealster's back and follow Bob. And Bob drives a lot of horses too. He's chill. He was just sitting. And down the backstretch, I heard him let out a roar, and I felt seen Poseidon Sealster start to drive on.
Yeah.
And I roared at Mickey, and he just followed right through. And when we turned down the backstretch, the front end was really starting to collapse. So when Poseidon Sealster cleared front and kept going, I made sure to drive up beside him. And through the last turn, I don't know if I kind of blanked or what, but I just kept roaring and chasing. And I thought to myself at the head of the stretch, I think I'm winning Gold Cup and Saucer.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I couldn't hear anything other than me and Bob.
Really?
And yeah, and right after the wire, just as soon as I hit the wire and put my hand in the air, it was the screams and the cheers. It was just like I say, you get chills, and it's just like, holy shit, I just did that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I've been in a lot of winter circles for the Gold Cup and Saucer, and there's been some happy people, but this year, Corey, was different with you, man. I
Yeah,
mean, the PEI boy, I know Campbell's won it, and
yeah,
what other PEI drivers have won it, even people from there like Wally. But man, it was just something about you and just this connection that you had with this horse and yeah, it's just such a storybook, man.
yeah. No, it's unbelievable to get a horse of like this to drive, and then to actually capitalize on all the opportunities. It was pretty sweet.
I bet you can't wait to see how he does down in Yonkers, eh?
Yeah, I'm very interested. I I had never really looked at his previous lines until after he left, actually, which sounds strange, but
Yeah.
I don't. When he came from New Zealand, I don't think he was tossed right into the Brigada series. I don't think the horse really I don't think he understood raw
He did.
speed. I think
Yeah,
he had the raw speed. I don't know if he just wasn't climatized to sprinting for a mile kind of thing. So
exactly.
I really hope from what the horse did here and learned here that he turns into a better horse than he was when he came.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think coming from New Zealand and then getting in the different climate, getting in the different distance to him for the first time. I mean, he got some half mile exposure before he got here, but he's adapted so well. So I can't wait to see how he does down there.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, we'll get off Mickey here for a few minutes. Rosetown Mary, Corey, talk about this mare. I mean, she's been incredible right from her first year of racing. She continues to battle the top mares the last couple of years, and just tell us about Rosetown Mary and just kind of what she's meant to you because you two get along so well, man.
Yeah, she's the barn superstar, I guess you'd call her. She's the
Yeah,
boss.
yeah.
Um, I'm not sure my wife loves her more than me, uh, but
Yeah.
I raced her mother, Brody's Leona, and she was just like an ATM machine. She won the mare's final for us. It was the last horse my grandfather actually owned a part of, and
Okay.
it it's just a really amazing story and timeline. And that was his last horse that he ever owned. Uh, I got to drive her. My uncle, Kerry Taylor, he picked her out on the for sale board.
Yeah.
When she showed up, she was just supposed to be a racehorse.
Yeah.
And she ended up, Brody's Leona herself, she ended up being a way better and nicer mare than I thought she would ever be.
Yeah.
And she's actually proved that she's twice the brood mare as she was a race mare. She only has two falls on the racetrack, and both of them have gone over 100,000.
I know.
So, yeah, her first fall, Rosetown Mary, right from the start, she always had a little fire in her belly.
Yeah.
She was kind of a hard nut to crack when she was in her early stages. She liked to kick.
Oh, did she?
Oh yeah, and she could go fast and kick, and that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
But she did get over that. She really learned how to be a racehorse. Her 2 year old, she was good as a 2 year old, but she didn't really. She wasn't unmanageable, but she didn't really want to do what I wanted her to. she did what she wanted. But about halfway through her 3-year-old year, she really found herself, and she figured out how to relax during a race and let me do what I wanted. And
Yeah.
she really had a great end of her 3-year-old year. And then at the end of her 3-year-old year, it's one of them business things.
Do you sell her? Do you keep
It's
her?
time. It's time to sell.
Yeah.
And my uncle said, he said, "Who do we talk to about selling the mare?" And I said, "If you want to really cause a fight in my household, you can sell her." But I said, "I'm scared she has to stay."
Yeah.
So it actually wasn't really much of a discussion after I said that. After I said I think she's got to stay.
Yeah.
There wasn't even really talk after that of selling her.
Okay.
And we raced her until about December that year of her 3-year-old year.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if she beat the top mares, but she was second for sure one day to Sugar Bowl or Ace 44 Dome, one of the better mares of that year.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I think she can make the jump to the top mares next year, and she did, and she's been a great mare her 4 and 5-year-old year, and she was she wasn't right her last 3 or 4 starts, but I think I got her back on the right track right now. But I think I counted the other day, she's missed 8 checks in her life.
I was gonna say she's an ATM like her mom.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So tell us about the Colt Rosetown Eclipse. He's had a good year too.
Yeah, he was kind of at the same time she got good as a 3-year-old. He kind of got better as a 2-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved to the racetrack around that time too, and I don't know if that was just a change of scenery helped or what it was,
Yeah.
but they both really come around that point. And no, Eclipse has always been a nice horse. He was easy to gate. He was easy to break. He was good to train down. I know that there's some trainers out there not real high on Bet the Moons.
I
He's
know.
had some good ones, but he's had some flops.
I
But
know.
this colt, I don't know if it's the broodmare or what it is, but he's always been a nice colt.
Yeah.
He's great gated. He can leave the switch. He loves a helmet. He's like I say, he's been another ATM machine.
So are you keeping him around for his 4-year-old campaign?
No, he's actually been sold.
Oh, he's been
Uh,
sold already.
yeah, he
Oh,
was. There was dealings before his last start, and
okay.
he's supposed to be going Tuesday. I don't know if I should reveal who bought him or not, but
Oh yeah, no, it's okay.
he is sold.
Yeah, I see Evil Lou is in to go at Mohawk tonight. I don't know if
Yes,
they
yeah.
sold. I don't know if they sold him or not,
No,
but
I think Josh McDonald sent him and the Tulsa King up himself. Yeah,
oh, okay, right on,
yeah,
right on. So what about this little trotter, this 2-year-old trotter you've had the pleasure of driving this year? Curry White's a trainer of him, and Curry Elmore White, man, way back in the St. John years, was his uncle or whatever.
yeah.
So kind of a weird
Um,
story there. But tell us about that trotter. I mean, he's just all trot, Corey. Like I haven't even really seen that guy even get rough at all. Like he's
yeah.
just seems to go perfect.
He no, he's a nice trotter. Hey, Curry has done a tremendous job with him
Yeah.
because early in the wintertime and in the spring, he was not cooperating with Curry, to say
Oh,
the
is that
least.
right?
No,
Yeah.
he didn't train down like a great horse, but he always showed the signs of speed.
Yeah.
Um, and I hadn't really seen a lot of him. And I seen him train, and he was just training kind of ordinary. And then when it came time to baby race, he said, "I'm going to stick that horse in the qualify." I said, "Well, you go with him." And I'm kind of thinking to myself, I hope he shows a little bit better than he was when he was training.
Yeah.
And I put his nose in the gate and let him trot out of there, sat in a hole, moved him down the back stretch, and he closed in on a couple finishing, and I thought, wow, did this horse ever make a 360?
Yeah.
And he just he has a great big gait, and he's got a long, like, he's a real long bodied horse. And
He is.
actually, that fella right there,
Yeah.
waiting on a woman, is
Oh,
his
wait.
uncle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Oh, interesting.
little Lewis's mother would be his sister. So
Okay.
uh, this horse, I and I know he's related to him, but this horse is the twin of Waiting on a Woman. He's got
Oh,
long
really?
legs, he's got a long body and a long neck, and he actually is a little bit nicer to drive than Waiting on a Woman was when he was 2 and 3. But this horse, he does have that kind of speed. Um,
Yeah.
so
Look,
no,
look
he's
what
been a great colt all summer long. He's done the job, and Curry really likes after a race, whether they win or lose, to tell him the truth. Like, how good was this horse today? Was this good? Was that good? And there was a couple starts he won, but he just wasn't 110%. And Curry's like,
Yeah.
don't worry about it. I'll work on it this week. And he'd come back the next week and be better. And
Yeah. Good
his
for him.
second last start, Miles Hefferman was sitting on my back off the last turn. And I
Yeah.
asked little Lewis, and he didn't really like jump at the opportunity to go. And
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I said, he's beat today. And
Oh,
Brody
gee.
McPhee was kind of torturing me after. He said, you thought you were caught today, didn't you, bud? And I really thought he would have been caught that day. And I
Yeah.
told Curry, I said, he just wasn't as strong as he had been. And
Yeah.
he came out in the Breeders' Crown and he came out swinging. He was
Oh,
way
yeah.
better than he ever was.
Yeah.
So I was really happy to see that.
Yeah. So he's got probably just the one more race that's coming up on Thursday night.
Yeah, he's got the one more start. He told me going into the Breeders' Crown, he said if he races good and he doesn't seem tired, he said we'll race him once more.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's in to go Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. So what do you have this year for 2-year-olds after the sale? How many did you get from there?
I have 5 in the barn right now. I have 4 that came
Okay.
from the sale,
Yeah.
and I have a homebred that came in, and I have another homebred that's not in yet. Actually, I don't have room yet.
Oh, is that
So
right?
uh, right now I'll have 6 total. I have a Shanghai Phil, sister to Rosetown Mary and Eclipse.
Oh, jeez.
Um, I have an EL Rocket Colt that would be a brother to a colt Adam Myrna raced a little bit this year. It's all about Fred.
Oh,
I
yes. Yeah.
have a brother to Freeman's Legacy. He's a Shanghai Phil.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have a colt by the name of James the Fourth that we bought at the sale. He's a perfect sting.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a handsome guy.
Yeah. And what else do I have? I have a Bet the Moon colt, a half brother to Woodmere Colby that Peter Smith bought.
Okay.
And I have a trotter named Ocean View Ripple. Bill Andrew
Okay.
bought her.
Yeah.
And trying to think if that's all or not.
You're having lots of fun breaking then.
Yeah, no, there's lots to do. The barn's
Oh,
always full.
oh yeah. No, good for you, buddy. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, man, I won't keep you. Thanks for joining me. I've been waiting to talk to you since I thought I'd let kind of things settle down for a little while and give you a chance to absorb everything and, um, set some more track records so we could talk about that. Yeah. So anyway, no, I really appreciate it, Corey. And, like I say, you know, it was a special moment to see you in the winner circle this year. I've been in a lot of winner circles for the Gold Cup, and I gotta say this is the best one by far. So congratulations on all your success, and continued success for next year and getting to 2,000 wins, buddy.
Thank you. It's been a great summer. I've driven a lot of great horses, and I'd like to thank everybody that gave me the opportunities to do it. And thanks for having me on the show.
Awesome. Thanks, Corey. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. All right.
All right. Take care.
Good.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, man.